Hi, this is Aj from Learn SEMA. I'm a lecturer in the enterprise pillar. I'm also a strategy consultant by profession, having started my career at the Boston Consulting Group and continued for many years after. I also tend to use a lot of the concepts that we teach in the enterprise pillar, both as an entrepreneur and as an investor in many startup companies. So let's do a quick walk through the syllabus for E2, which is Project and Relationship Management. E2 is centered around the concept of corporate strategy and how this strategy can be implemented through people, processes, projects, and relationships. E2 will set the foundation for how we implement and in fact develop strategies for the organization, which are topics that we take on in E3. When we look at the syllabus for E2, we see that there are four main areas that have been outlined. And these areas are Introduction to Strategic Management and Assessing the Global Environment, which is about 30% of the syllabus. Next, we deal with the human or people aspects of the organization, and this takes us about 20% of the syllabus. The third element of the syllabus is around managing relationships, fundamentally relationships with all the different stakeholders, and this is about 20% of the syllabus. The final 30% of our syllabus is around managing change through projects. Again, a key topic that we will carry through to E3 as well. Now let's take a quick look at each of the areas that we just described as part of the syllabus. What do we get to see in Introduction to Strategic Management and the Global Environment? Under this, we see topics like strategy and strategic management, levels of strategy within an organization, and also the fundamental rational strategic planning process that we use to develop strategies for an organization. We will also explore areas of alternative ways to develop strategy, such as logical incrementalism or emergent approaches to strategy. We will also explore the topic of competitive advantage. How do you develop it? How do you sustain it? And how do you improve and take it forward? In thinking of the global environment, we will start looking at models that will help us understand and analyze the macro environment. Models like a pest analysis or models like Porter's diamond, which help analyze country competitiveness. We will also use models that help analyze the micro environment, like Porter's 5 forces. And we will deal with topics like globalization and how do we measure and monitor country risk and political risk. Looking deeper at the next part of the syllabus around the human aspect of the organization, we are going to come up against topics such as concepts around power and authority and delegation of authority, concepts around leadership and different styles of leadership, and leading in different contexts within an organization. There is also a very strong HR component to the human aspect, where we will be dealing with HR policies and procedures, hiring, the firing, grievance procedures. All of these elements will be covered under the human aspect of the organization. A final area on the human aspect of the organization is around the concept of culture. How do we think about a firm's culture? What are the different elements of the culture? And how do we go about changing that culture? So this topic really starts to help us understand what it takes to truly get to the heart of an organization and then start to determine ways that we can change it. The third major area of our syllabus is around managing relationships. And here, what we are focused on is really how the finance function should be dealing with both internal and external stakeholders and the relationships that the finance function needs to build to be more effective as a partner to the leadership of the organization. As part of managing relationships, we will also get into topics like the process of negotiation and of managing conflict. The final part of our syllabus is around managing change through projects. Here we will start to analyze topics around the type of change, the external and internal triggers of change, and the stage model of managing change. So essentially we need to remember that whenever we are trying to implement change within an organization, we need to take a careful, staged approach to be most effective. Whenever we discuss the topic of change, the related topic is resistance to change. People fundamentally do not like change and will resist it. So the syllabus helps us to understand how do we deal with these resistance to change. At the level of E2, when we are talking about managing and dealing with change and resistance, the focus is really about specific projects, not necessarily the overall organization, but within a particular project, how do we implement change, how do we drive change, and how we deal with resistance. So a key part of the final section of the syllabus is fundamentally around project management. These include project management approaches, technologies that will help us manage projects, leadership issues that arise when trying to run projects, and the roles of different players within a project team. So that was a quick run through the syllabus for E2, and I look forward to working with you if you join the course to go into more detail in each of these areas that we can explore so we truly understand what the examiner wants from each of us in these areas. Thank you.